Well, hello there. All right, well, as you know, my name's Emerson Sparks. This is my counterpart, Ben Shane. Can everyone hear me in the back okay? Yes, no? Okay, yes, good, okay. I am 20 years old. I'm old now. I'm 20. I'm a sophomore. No, I'm not even a sophomore now. I'm a junior at Notre Dame. What happened was I started the website when I was 12 years old. First of all, show of hands. Who here has been to Walnut.com before? Raise your hand. I don't even know why I bother asking that anymore. I think there was one guy a couple weeks ago that didn't have his hand up, and, well, you know how it is. Anyway, so I founded the website when I was 12 years old in the fall of '99. I actually had no idea how to make a website, but I just started homeschooling, and I suddenly had way too much free time. So, seriously, if you would have seen Walnut then and compared it to what it is now, 8 years later, you would have laughed. It was terrible. But anyway, I learned a lot over the years. I learned how to put up with this guy. As you'll see, we tend to argue like married couple. Because we've been doing a lot of events together, and we've known each other for a really long time. So Ben, how'd you get your start on the website?
It was a long time ago in a land far away. Actually, it was in a wheat field in Kansas. Well, not exactly a wheat field. I do have a house, believe it or not. I don't drive a tractor. Get that out of your minds. So it was, shortly before the release of Book 5, would have probably been around May 2003, and I accidentally added Emerson to my MSN list, because I didn't know who Mugglenet or Hotmail.com was. So I was going through all the Harry Potter websites. I had a darkmark at Hotmail.com, just all of these addresses, and then I had Mugglenet at Hotmail.com, and I looked down in the corner, and Emerson signs online. And I started talking to him. By talking to him, I mean bugging the living crap out of him. And I asked if I could have a job. And he said no. And then I asked the next day, and he said no again. Then I did that for about 3 to 4 months, and then finally he gave in, and here we are today.
Yeah, I'm a pushover. Anyway, for those of you who have never been to Mugglenet, what it basically is it's the internet's largest Harry Potter website. It has pretty much everything you could possibly imagine that relates to Harry Potter. You know, pictures, movies, news, stuff like that. The website gets over 30 million hits a month now from visitors from every country on the planet. And I'm really proud of how big it's become, because I really had no intention to make it this big when I first started the website.
And what you may be wondering is, how does a website write a book about a book? Now see, to me it really didn't make sense at first either, but it was about a year ago now, we got an email from the publisher, actually the man standing in the back of the room, Mr. Nick Denton Brown from Ulysses Press, right there. Give a round of applause. This book was essentially his brainchild. He sent us an email saying, well, Ben, your website's it's a good website, we like it a lot. You have all these predictions about what's going to happen in Book 7, what do you think about making a book out of it? And I came back to Emerson, and it was sort of, no, I'm just kidding. We were excited and thrilled to do it. And initially, they thought we were only going to be able to sell 9,000 copies. So that's all they printed. However, now there are over 300,000 copies in print, and the book currently resides at number 2 on the New York Times bestseller list. Thanks to all of you. So what you need to understand is, through Mugglenet and all this stuff, we get to do all kinds of crazy cool things. For example, we get to go to movie premieres. We get to do podcasts. Any MuggleCast listeners out here? Rock on. We get to write books. We just get to do all kinds of crazy things, like meet famous, successful, billionaire authors. Well, some of us anyways.
Yeah, see, I'm actually if you didn't know this already, I'm actually the luckiest kid in the entire world. So I get this call. Well, my dad comes bursting into my room, and it's about 2 years ago, in May. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. My dad comes bursting into my room, and I was sleeping because it was 8 o'clock in the morning. But so he comes bursting into me. He's got a phone in his hand. All he says is, Emerson, it's Joe. So I'm thinking, why is some dude named Joe calling me at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday? So he hands me the phone, and in this very deep, sort of Barry White voice, I grumble to the line, hello. And I'm greeted by this very clipped British accent on the other end of the line. Hello, Emerson. This is Joe. And then, there's one of those long, awkward pauses you get when you realize that you're on the other end of the line with a rich, famous billionaire author who's kind of your idol. Well, one of those kind. You know what I'm talking about, right? One of those kind of pauses. Yeah. So anyway, the reason she was calling was she wanted to know if I'd be interested in coming to her house in Scotland on the day of the release of the 6th book and interviewing her. So, of course, my first thought was, well, I'll check my schedule. Maybe I can work you in sometime. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But no, of course, I was thrilled. And she also invited Melissa Nelly, who runs another Harry Potter website called The Leaky Cauldron. And what happened was the night of the release of the 6th book, we were at the castle, Edinburgh Castle, which is awesome, by the way, awesome. And there was this big, glitzy, red carpet affair. J.K. Rowling did some readings, let some little contest winners interview her, and we were covering that. But then they gave us the book right after midnight, and we basically ran straight back to the hotel, because we had the interview 9 hours later. So we ran straight back to the hotel, and actually it was funny, because Melissa, she had heels on, and all the streets in Edinburgh, most of them anyway, are brick. There's nothing funnier than seeing a woman try to run in heels on bricks. But anyway, so we got back, we started pouring entire pots of coffee down our throats, locked ourselves away, and we did finish the book on time. We did finish it, but we pretty much thought of all the questions, during the interview, so, I was happy with how it went. The interview was only supposed to go for an hour, but it ended up going for over 2.5 hours. And I felt like she wanted to keep going, all night long. We were having a blast, and basically, like me and Joe now, we're pretty much BFFs. So, that is why I'm the luckiest kid in the world.
And he hang out with me, so this has to. So, the real reason that you all came here. Oh, but first, Dylan Sparks, where are you at? Ladies and gentlemen, here's the reason why you have 65,000 MuggleNet layouts. Dylan Sparks in the back corner. Had to get a shot out of the way.
Okay, this is the part where I turn into a bit of an arrogant jerk and humiliate anybody who disagrees with me. So, raise your hand if you think Harry Potter is going to die in the next book.
Never. Oh my God.
You're completely wrong. I'm sorry, but seriously. Go back in time. Your name's J.K. Rowling. You're sitting on this train to Manchester, and bolt from the blue, you get this idea. You're going to write the best-selling book in the next decade. This is the greatest story ever. It's going to be about a boy. And I know. A boy whose life sucks. And then he dies. Please. It's the boy who lived, not the boy who died.